Kinetrax gives us a predicted ground reaction force from the motion capture that we do. The idea of ground reaction force is how a pitcher is, creating energy on the backside and then transferring it through the front side, meaning the back foot and front foot. When it comes to, things like the lead leg, we want to know, okay, when is max ground reaction force occurring, relative to the phase of the throw? Is it happening in time with, the delivery so that energy can get through the trunk and then ultimately into the arm and into the baseball? So we look at the peak value, but also like the timing of those things to try and understand, if there's any better way to optimize, stride characteristics, how we load and unload the back foot, hip, how we stride and land and transfer energy through the front foot, knee, hip, lead leg. All of those things, can be individual for the athlete. So when we look at pitch profiles, obviously a piece of that is the movement that those pitches possess. Movement comes from a number of different factors. Factors such as the velocity, the raw spin rate, the spin efficiencies, and spin axis all can play a factor in how the pitches move. But other things that also affect movement, it's going to be seam orientation and how those seams interact with the air as the ball's moving towards its destination. So for instance, there can be multiple ways to create horizontal movement on a sinker or a two-seam fastball, as they might be traditionally referred to. There is high spin efficiency pitches that will create run to the arm side, where the majority of the spin is aligned perpendicularly to the spin axis. So those seams, carry it in the direction that it's thrown. Lower spin efficiency pitches that won't have all the spin aligned in that way, we can get the seams to create what's called seam shifted wake. And so like a very simple way to try and understand this is, as the ball's moving through air, there's, turbulence being created. And if we can get a smooth patch on the baseball, spinning consistently, in a spot, it will create push in the opposite direction of that smooth patch. So sinkers can be thrown with seam shift. There's also sliders that can be thrown with seam shift, with some of those similar principles, only working in the opposite direction where sliders are being pushed to the glove side. So whenever designing an arsenal, we definitely want to take into consideration things like raw spin rate, spin efficiency, spin directions, spin axes, and then identify like who may be candidates for different seam orientations to create desired movement profiles. I think that the kind of feedback loops such as ball flight data via technologies like TrackMan, Rapsodo, and others, along with high-speed video of ball release and seam orientation, can allow us to speed up the process of trying to create the ideal seam orientation for the pitcher. There's also some ball metric simulators out there now that exist where you can plug in different types of seam orientation, spin rates, spin directions, and even gives you finger placement suggestions and things like that. I think that'll continue to be more prevalent in the game, where you can actually get reps without throwing the baseball, to kind of continue to shorten that trial and error.